Welcome back to Better Than Before. I'm your host, Tony Richards, and I'm excited to have Jeff Echelmeier here today. He's a partner and CEO with Williams Keepers Accounting Consultants. Jeff specializes in income tax planning, issues related to forming a new business, succession planning, estate tax planning, and wealth management. He works extensively with business owners, medical practitioners, and individual taxpayers. In addition to his client service role, Jeff serves as Williams Keepers LLC's Chief Executive Officer and works with WK's leadership team to guide the firm's operations, growth, and strategies for achieving the vision. He also serves as chairman of the board of directors for READY, Regional Economic Development Incorporated. He's also a member of the University of Missouri School of Accountancy Advisory Board, a past president of Columbia South Rotary Club, and a member of the Columbia Chamber of Commerce, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the Missouri Society of CPAs, and the Missouri United Methodist Church. He's got a Master of Science in Accountancy degree from the University of Missouri, and I'm excited to welcome Jeff to the program today. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Tony. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet, man. And Jeff has done an outstanding job at Williams Keepers for years, and he's been a friend, and we've done some work together. So I'm excited to share some of those things out of your experience with our listeners. I think it'll be interesting to talk about being the leader of an accounting firm and some things like that. But before we get to that, tell me a little bit about your upbringing. Where'd you grow up and that sort of thing?
Sure. I grew up in Fulton, Missouri on a dairy farm, one of three boys. So
dairy farming, that's hard work.
That's right. I still get up early in the morning. Our days generally started about 5 o'clock, and we had some cattle to feed and cows to milk before school. My brothers and I, and my dad, and my mother too, who was a school teacher. Everybody had some chores before breakfast, and then we'd have breakfast and go to work or go to school and come back and do some more chores when we got back.
Well, when I grew up in Kentucky, and I had a couple of dairy farm family guys that I went to school with, and as I remember, family vacations were few and far between. I mean,
they're about 8 hours long in between milkings.
Yep. Those cows got to be taken care of, right?
That's right.
So what about the history of Williams Keepers? It's a long and prestigious history, but tell everybody a little bit about the background of the firm.
Sure. The history of our firm goes back to 1923, so we're over 95 years old now, and I believe I'm either the fifth or sixth generation of partners. So it's a group that has grown and changed and morphed over the years, and yet prospered and been a part of the Columbia and Central Missouri business community for a long time. Started as a traditional accounting and bookkeeping service, and evolved over the years to many more technical things and consulting type things now. Still do a lot of those core businesses, but do a lot of things on the fringes of helping businesses be successful.
Yeah, it's a very prestigious firm. Now, how did you come from the dairy farm to being interested in accounting, and tie those things together for me?
Sure. Well, I didn't even know any accountants when I was growing up. I will say growing up on a farm, though, inspired me to study a little bit harder and try to find another way. In my ag econ classes, there was some accounting classes required. And it was one of those things that it sounds kind of cliche, but it just came more natural to me. It's something that just kind of made sense relatively quickly for me. So that got me involved in more of the accounting classes. And still, I didn't have any experience with any other accountants or accounting firm. And I was in a tax class, and someone from Williams Keepers made a presentation to our class. And next thing I knew, I was in an internship at Williams Keepers while I was in grad school.
Wow. Now, something I always like to ask CEO guests for sure, and every time I moderate a panel, but what are some of the things you did to prepare yourself for that role? I mean, I'll just tell you this in advance. Most people say they never really intended for that to happen, but how did you get to that point?
Yeah, so I served on, we have a leadership committee. So we have 15 partners, and so we have a leadership committee that generally guides the direction and strategic endeavors of the firm. And I was a part of that, I think, early on in my career as a partner. Primarily because I brought a younger person's perspective. At that time, I was younger.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And so I was involved with the leadership of the firm for many years, and it just kind of evolved. But I do remember that feeling when I became managing partner, that there was a bigger sense of responsibility, that it wasn't just about me and the clients that I worked with. We have 100 people that work for our firm, and their families are counting on our firm being successful, and I felt that sense of responsibility.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how long have you been in that role now for?
Let's see, 2011.
So 8 years almost.
Yep.
So that's a good size term so far. Tell me a little bit about your vision for the firm. Like, where do you see Williams Keepers going in the future as its managing director?
Right. Well, like a lot of businesses, technology is changing our business. While we still pride ourselves on face-to-face and relationships with business, technology is changing that. Where when I started my career, a lot of the value that we brought was putting a number in a box. And with technology, the computers are putting the numbers in the box, and so we've got to bring some value to those numbers. And so I think that's a big part of finding ways to help people be successful, and that's part of our strategic plan, is helping people navigate their financial world. It's not about preparing tax returns or financial statements, while that compliance part is part of it. Helping them be successful is really the most rewarding part, and the exciting part as well.
I'm sure that in the tax code world, there are constant changes that are taking place. I mean, I know when we had the election here a few years ago, we had a major tax code change. What does that do for a firm like yours? Is that a major shift for you, or is it just we have those things all the time and it's just a minor adjustment?
I mean, there's definitely some extra training that goes into getting ready for a season like we just went through, and it's a little bit more challenging when there are things that aren't clear yet what the rules all mean. Even though it's written in code, there's still some interpretation to be done, and so you're trying to navigate those, and so there's a little extra preparation involved there, but the key is trying to not just help people follow the rules, but help them to understand them so that they can plan better.
Yeah, you bet. Now, you mentioned the leadership group. Give me a little sketch about the people who serve on your leadership team.
Sure. We try to keep a good representation. We have 2 offices, and we have 4 different departments, and so we try to have good diversity in that group so that all perspectives and all generations are represented. So we have 4 people that bring different perspectives to it. We meet once a month, and our primary goal is leading the firm. It used to be the management committee, but we made an important name change, I think, to the leadership committee. It's not about managing the firm, it's about leading the firm and painting that picture of where we want to take it.
Can you tell us a little bit about when you get that time allocation once a month? I mean, how do you spend that time together? What are some of the things? We have a lot of leaders and CEOs who listen to the show that are looking for, different things that they can do. How do you guys spend your time when you get together?
Sure. We try to break our year down into different trimesters, and each time we're asking ourselves, what's the most important thing that we need to accomplish in these next 3 months? We always have, yearly goals and direction, and we have a 5-year plan and a vision statement. But so we're trying to mix what are the things that we need to do immediately in the next few months in order to be successful, and how does that match and compare and really work in unison with that 5-year vision we have? Is that getting us closer to that picture that we're trying to paint 5 years down the road?
You mentioned, we talked a little bit about the rules changes, and we talked a little bit about technology. As far as your industry specifically, like, what are some of the challenges you see coming down the road that are going to be obstacles for you guys to deal with in the coming years?
Well, I think that with technology, again, people are going to be able to dial into a specific expertise that they need, and it doesn't necessarily have to be someone just down the street. Whether that's an industry niche or a technology type expertise, people are going to be, and they're getting used to plugging into and having a relationship that isn't always face to face. And so while over the last 90 years, our competition was generally right here in mid-Missouri. Our competition is more national now as people look to dial into specific expertise. So being able to bring that high level of expertise is certainly a challenge.
Well, people can get connected easier than ever, and it's a global world for sure. So you're an accounting professional, as we covered in your bio. You serve clients. Then you also serve as CEO and managing director. Where does Jeff Echelmeier's true passion lie in all that? What do you really, really like doing?
I really, really like helping other people be successful.
Well, that takes in both.
Yeah, it does. It does. It means helping our people get better, helping our firm get better, helping our clients get better. Those are the best days when you've helped someone improve.
Since you've been in charge now here for 7 or 8 years, and you've taken the reins now over a good little period of time, what would you say you're most proud of that you've been able to accomplish at Williams Keepers?
I think it is realizing how much our people care about each other and about our clients. The culture that we have, I think it sounds cliche to say we have a close family, but I do believe that our people truly care about each other. And so it makes it fun to go to work with people that you enjoy being around.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier something about generationally. In accounting, the accounting industry in general, is there a lot of space in the generations, or do you see younger generations coming into the accounting field, or how's that kind of playing out?
Right. There's an awful lot of demand for new accounting students. We've got one of the best accounting schools in the country right here at the University of Missouri. And while it's a 5-year program, a lot of these young people have offers by the end of their 4th year. So it's a very competitive environment. As we look at our firm, both in the member group and in the staffing group, we're trying to keep a pretty even keel allocation between the generations. And I think we've got good balance in that area. But it's definitely a field where there's a lot of smart people in a lot of smart schools doing well, but there's a competition for those people. So, yeah. And recruiting is one of the most important things we do.
Yeah. And so you mentioned before you've got over 100 people at your firm. How many new positions would you typically have in a year? Do you know? Or
yeah, we generally keep a pipeline of both our new hires and kind of the people that are on our recruiting list. I would guess on average we hire maybe 10 to 12 a year. We don't have a lot of attrition, thankfully. People generally enjoy our firm and want to stay, but we've been growing at a nice pace, and so I would guess 8 to 10 probably on average.
So what do you do with your family? How do you, how does Jeff unwind and have fun when he's not accounting and running a firm?
Yeah. Well, I've definitely been blessed. My wife and I have 3 children.
What are their names?
Will, who's 25 and a graduate of the University of Missouri, and Matt is going to be 22 here in a couple weeks. And my daughter Kate is a freshman at Rockbridge. The boys were both into every sport that they could play, and I just enjoyed the heck out of getting to coach them in Little League baseball and basketball, and then they kind of evolved to golf, and so it was a great family outing for us to go play golf on a Sunday evening together, or a Wednesday night, or whatever it might be. So, and my daughter.
Does your wife play golf too, or?
She once in a while. She's not really interested in investing 5 hours in it, but she enjoys riding around the cart and watching us. Actually, we just got back from the SEC tournament last week, watching the boys play. So she enjoys watching it.
And your wife's name?
Ann.
Yes, I knew that, but I was going to let you say it.
Thank you.
You bet. Anything else? Like, is there any piece of advice or anything that you'd give somebody who's coming into this field?
Well, I think for us, the key is this path of continuous improvement. We have a great firm, but it's going to require change to continue to be successful. So that's one of the fun things, and it's one of the challenging things. To me, it would be boring if every day I was just doing the exact same thing that I'd done before and running our firm the exact same way it had been run the day before. So it's one of those fun puzzles that's interesting to try to figure out. So I guess that's the advice I would offer, is just fall in love with this idea of trying to get better at something all the time.
For those of us who've been doing these kinds of things for a while, it helps keep us on our toes.
Absolutely.
Right? And it keeps us, we got to keep learning. We have to keep, experiencing things. And I was talking to somebody the other day who had an employee, and they were talking about what a challenge they were. They were in their 60s or something, and they couldn't do Excel, and they couldn't do email, and they couldn't do this, and they couldn't do that. And I said, well, where were they in the 90s? Like in the 90s, they were in their 40s, right? So it's just a constant challenge for us to keep up, right? I mean, I think that keeps us young.
Absolutely. Right. Yep.
So tell everybody about how to find out more about the firm.
Sure. We're at williamskeepers.com. All is one word, and we're on Twitter and Facebook as well. So we're based here in Central Missouri, Jefferson City, and Columbia, as I mentioned. So yeah.
And I can give a client testimonial. I've been a client for many, many years, and love working with everybody at your place.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that.
Jeff Echelmeier, CEO and managing partner of Williams Keepers, has been our guest today. And go to their website and find out more information about the accounting firm. They would be able to help you with your needs.
Receive weekly coaching tips from Tony Richards, delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a CEO or an entrepreneur, Tony can help you reach your goals and give you a competitive edge within your industry. Tony's Monday morning coaching memo covers topics ranging from leadership development to teamwork to company culture and more. Text the word leadership to 38470 to sign up for Tony's Monday morning coaching memo, or sign up online at clearvisiondevelopment.com.